Hi, my name is Zephyr C. I'm going to basically fulfill the requirement for First Class 1B. So, First Class Requirement 1B states, quote, explain the potential impacts of camping, both on the environment and on other outdoor users. Explain why the environmental code and leave no trace principles are important for protecting the outdoors. So, what is leave no trace? Leave no trace is a set of 7 principles, or 7 memory items that remind you how to leave no trace and how to preserve the environment. So the first memory item in this is in leave no trace is plan ahead and prepare. So what do I mean by plan? What does it mean to plan ahead and prepare? It means like plot your course out on a map. You want to plot your course out on a map, both for safety reasons, so you know where you're going to be going, how you'll be getting there, and where people can look for you. But that doesn't just apply to safety. It also applies to preserving the environment as well. So the reason that you want to plan your route on a map is you want to maybe plan it in a place where okay, this is going to be mostly rocky soil, or this is going to be like sand or whatnot, or this is going to be a place where we're not going to be disturbing the environment as much as possible. So this could include things like not traveling over specific hillsides, not traveling over nature preserves or protected areas, or just sensitive areas in general. That is what plan ahead and prepare means to me. The second rule, so to speak, to follow is, so we did plan ahead and prepare, travel and camp on durable surfaces. What does that mean? Well, it's kind of in the name. Traveling and camping on durable surfaces means, let's say traveling, you want to travel on either paved trails or roads, or you want to just stay on marked trails. The reason that you want to stay on these marked trails is you want to both stay en route, yes, but you also want to avoid, again, like I said, carving new trails, because what you will do is in doing that, you will both erode you can erode like the hillside, the mountainside, or even just the bank on the river. You can erode it by going up it and going off trail. And B, again, if you were to say go across what's the word that I'm looking for? A sensitive hillside. If you were to go across it and let's say step on some lichen, 7 people doing that, well, that could actually kill the lichen, and that lichen could never grow back. We could never see that again in the world. So you want to be very careful. You want to be very careful to stay on trail, and you want to try and stay in the middle of the trail to avoid eroding the sides of it, thus destroying the mountainside or destroying wherever you are. It's a similar thing for camping. You want to avoid camping in areas that are sensitive, and you want to avoid camping in large groups as well. So if you were to camp in a, let's say, if you were to be along, let's say, the Appalachian Trail, you would want to camp in a more dispersed group, and you would want to camp in designated campsites. Now, on trails and on backpacking adventures, you may not always have campsites, like designated campsites. So places that I've already been, like the dirt has been packed down, that's a designated campsite, and a fire ring, etc. You may not that may not be available to you. So if you were backpacking, you would want to split your group up. If it's a very large group anyway, you want to split it up into several small groups, or however small it needs to be, and you would want to have specific places in your camp where your tent goes, and have specific walking areas in your camp. This is done to both preserve life as much as possible. So let's say if you're forced to camp on this very pristine but delicate hillside, if you're forced to camp there, you want to spread your group out, and you want to create designated paths So like this is where you go to a cat hole or like to a latrine. This is where we go to this is where we're all sit. We stay on these designated trails and paths that we have made for ourselves. The name of the game here is protecting as much as you can. So, the second principle of leave no trace, the third principle is, so we did plan ahead and prepare, travel and camp on durable surfaces, and then dispose of waste properly. What is disposing of waste properly? Well, again, it is somewhat in the name, but it is going to take a little bit of explaining. Disposing of waste properly means disposing of your waste. So if you were to dig a cat hole, for example, because you would need to relieve yourself in the if you need to relieve yourself, you would want to make that cat hole be about 200 feet away, so about 75 steps from any water source or trail or camp. You want to do your thing and try and you want to bring biodegradable toilet paper. Doing this, you are doing this and adequately digging the cat hole, so it's about 6 to 8 inches into the ground, only in the topsoil, then putting more soil on top of it and marking it with a stick. That is saying, hey guys, I'm not just pooping in the woods. I'm letting my waste be biodisposable. I think I said that right. Anyway, though, disposing of your waste properly also means if you pack it in and pack it out. So let's say you have soapy water. You don't want to necessarily pack that out. If it's like soapy water and it's biodegradable soap, you can spread that over a large area. But if it's like oily, if it's like very oily water or like cooking oil, you do want to pack that out. The second, another point of this is you would want to pack out any trash. So like energy bar wrappers, like metal, fishing line, all of these things you want to pack out. Pack it in, pack it out. You have room. So yeah, that I think adequately covers disposing of your waste properly. But it's just being mindful of what you do. So doing things like police lines, like disposing of your like human waste adequately, and just packing everything out. That's good. So the fourth one, we did plan ahead and prepare, travel and camp on durable surfaces, dispose of waste properly, leave what you find. Leave what you find is probably the most self-explanatory of the bunch. You are leaving what you're finding. So if you were to find, let's say, an artifact like an arrowhead, for example, you would want to leave that, both because it's cultural like resources. It's important to the people who made it and to the people whose ancestors made that, but also for future generations to see. We want to preserve these things as best as we possibly can. So leave what you find. If you wanted to take a cool leaf with you, don't. It may be vital to the environment. That leaving what you find, if you decide to take it, that could have insurmountable consequences on the environment that you may not even realize. So I guess the point that I'm trying to get here is leave what you find. If you see a cool rock, leave it. If you see it like a pine cone or a cool leaf or like a nice flower, an exotic flower, leave it. Artifacts, leave it. All of these things are insurmountable. They're extremely important to the environment, and you want to leave them as best as possible. So we did plan ahead and prepare, travel and camp on durable surfaces, dispose of waste properly, leave what you find, minimize campfire impacts. So minimizing campfire impacts is actually one very important skill as a scout. Just as much as being able to make a fire, you want to be able to both put it out and minimize its impacts. So with campfires, the thing you have to remember is even using them just a little bit, that can actually scorch the ground. It can permanently, or not permanently, but it can scar the ground for years to come. It can make it hard for things to grow there, and it can sterilize the soil. It's just, you want to be careful with fire. So an aspect of that, like a way you could do that is if you're just camping there for one night, use stoves. If there's no established campfire ring, or place where you can build a campfire. So let's say you stop at a place for a night, you may want to just use a stove, use a lightweight stove that you brought. Oh, excuse me. Another thing that you want to do with minimizing campfire impacts is you want to both make sure to watch it, so leave someone there to watch it at all times, because the sparks from it, those could jump onto like pine needles, for example, or like leaves, and that could light the entire forest ablaze. So in addition to that, you also want to, I guess, like plan ahead in a sense, and check with your local land manager, or just check with like state law to see if there's a fire ban in place. So unless there's already a established campfire ring, just try not to use one. Yeah, so always put a campfire out, so that it's cold to the touch, and always burn it down just to the ashes, so you can then scatter them and they can biodegrade. So that was minimizing campfire impacts. So we did plan ahead and prepare, travel and camp on durable surfaces, dispose of waste properly, leave what you find, minimize campfire impacts. The next one, respect wildlife. Respecting wildlife, what does that mean? It means like stay out of their nesting areas. Don't try and tempt wild animals. Don't try and grab them. Don't hold them. Don't hurt them. Don't take them. Just don't do any of that. Respect wild animals. So stay out of nesting zones. Stay out of watering holes where you know they may be. Just try not to approach them. Just generally leave animals alone. They need to be respected, and wildlife needs to be respected, and it needs to be able to thrive in its natural environment. If you were to feed a bear, well, that bear may get accustomed to humans, and it could come back, and well, now you have to deal with an aggressive bear raiding people's camps. Another thing is that if you mess with animals, they may become timid and scared, which could actually lead them. It could lead them to not be able to survive as well in their environment if you were to, let's say, scare a possum or something. The bottom line is just respect wildlife, leave them alone. Respect their areas, just respect them. And so, yeah, that's the sixth one. Now the seventh part of leave no trace. So we did plan ahead and prepare, travel and camp on durable surfaces, dispose of waste properly, leave what you find, minimize campfire impacts, respect wildlife, be considerate of other visitors. Being considerate of other visitors, i.e. other people in the outdoors, would be don't be obnoxious. Don't be rude or snide and snotty, but to other visitors. But also, don't do things that would be overly obnoxious. Don't play music, just things like that. Just try and be courteous to other people. So something that you may want to do is try and stay away from other people's campsites as well. You may want to stay in your own designated campsite. Go behind natural foliage or cover to stay away from other people. Try not to blare loud music, and just things like that. Try not to disturb the peace with other people. That is something that I think is really important. You want the outdoors to be enjoyable for everyone. Not just you, not just your friends, but also for the person who just wants to birdwatch, the person who just wants to spend a nice day out with their family. You want to let them be able to relax, and you want to be a scout. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. you want to be courteous, you want to be clean, you want to be helpful, you want to be all of these things. And sometimes like doing that, it's taking a step back and just retreating to where no one else can see. So yeah, that was Leave No Trace. All right, now, yeah, so I'll go ahead and update you in a moment. Bye. What is the outdoor code? Oh, sorry, I should have introduced myself. I'm Zephyr Carter, and this is a continuation of First Class Requirement 1B. So, what is the outdoor code? The outdoor code goes as this. As an American, I'll do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, to be careful with fire, to be considerate in the outdoors, and to be conservation-minded. So, what does that mean? As an American, I'll just repeat this. As an American, what you are doing is you are saying, I am a citizen of this country. It is my responsibility. I recognize that, and it is my responsibility to, do what I'm about to say. So, as an American, I will do my best. What is your best? Your best is trying your very hardest to, do what's right, to do what's good. As an American, I will do my best to do my duty, as in it is my duty to do these things. As an American, a citizen of this country, it is my duty, my right, my obligation to do this. As an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners. What does being clean with your outdoor manners mean? Well, being clean with your outdoor manners means both your eating manners really, but also not causing additional noise. You want to try your best to follow. You want to follow Leave No Trace as best as you can. You want to try and make as little noise as possible. Try not to be rowdy, and try not to just be bad. Just be polite. Yeah. So as an American, I'll do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners. So that means disposing of your waste properly. As in the Leave No Trace. You remember the I think it was plan ahead and prepare, travel and camp on durable surfaces, dispose of waste properly. You want to follow as an American, I'll do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners. You want to do things being clean in your outdoor manners. So disposing of your waste properly. You want to dig cat holes if you need to go number 2, for example. You want to, if you were to pee, go pee on rocks or sand, as to not pee on trees, attracting animals which will come and tear the bark off the trees. You want to just be clean, and you want to be clean in your outdoor manners as best as you can. Use soap, use hand sanitizer after you use the restroom, and dispose of your food waste properly. Just things like that. So, as an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, to be careful with fire. Now, that is also the 5th point of Leave No Trace. So, as an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners and to be careful with fire. You want to be careful with fire by, having someone always watch the campfire, using designated fire rings, or just places where you make a fire, and putting your fire out all the way. You want to be careful with fire as much as you can. So, as an American, I'll do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, to be careful with fire, to be considerate in the outdoors. Again, being considerate of the outdoors is the 7th point of Leave No Trace, which is don't be obnoxious. Dispose of your waste properly, but don't yell, don't scream, don't holler, don't disturb other people while you're outside. Respect wildlife. You just want to not be obnoxious. You want to be good, and you want to be good. Or you want to be good, and you want to be clean. Just be respectful. So, as an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, to be careful with fire, to be considerate in the outdoors, and to be conservation-minded. What does being conservation-minded mean? Well, that means you want to have conservation in mind, as it says. You want to be careful with fire. You want to follow the leave no trace as best you can, and you want to just generally do things like pack it in, pack it out, don't feed wildlife, things like that, like being aware with fire. And yeah, being conservation minded also means things like don't run on top of trail, like don't run on the edges of trails, because that can actually erode them. Don't run across hillsides. Don't do all of these things which would be like negative to the environment. Don't take things that aren't yours. Don't be just rude. Just don't. So yeah, it's mostly just about being conservation minded. Of course, use enough water, but use as little water as you possibly can. You don't want to waste water as well. Like don't dump soap don't dump soap into a river or a lake. Just be careful with these things. Be careful with the environment, and be careful and try and preserve the environment as best as you can. Both for us right now, you don't want to ruin it for other people in this age, but what about the next age? What about the next 100 years? You don't want to leave fishing line out and have it not biodegrade for 600 years. You don't want to do that. You want to clear out all the trash that you see. If you see some fishing line that's been discarded in the woods, take it. If you see things that have been if you see trash, take it, pack it out. It doesn't really matter if you packed it in. You also want to pack it out. So yeah, that is those are the 7 principles of Leave No Trace and the Outdoor Code. That's how you can protect the outdoors. You want just be as good as you can. Be a scout. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching, and bye.